So it's definitely a day of reflection and a day of catching our breath and a day of trying to take the message home in a way that it's going to stick with us without having to go through the tragedy of being woken up. So many people ask, so why? Why such a tragic event? And so the way Hashem works is the more asleep we are, the harsher and louder the call is. So we all must have been really sleeping until now to have reached, to have to get ourselves woken up in such a harsh way. Not one, not two, not everyday people, but 3 young boys being taken away is, let's put it this way, we went through a very tough contraction in the birthing process of our Geula, is the way we should look at it. This was a very strong contraction. One of those contractions where you're actually saying to the doctor, I'm ready for my epidural now. But with that, Bezrat Hashem, we're one step closer now, one very big step closer to the Geula. So let's just look a little bit about what this month offers to us and how we can use it in the whole realm of thinking of the mindset of Tammuz and the avoda of Tammuz and why this fell out on Tammuz. And of course, everyone's talking about the fact that for 18 days we didn't know where these boys were. 18 is high. We were somehow, this was a life-giving process to so many of us. We were supposed to have gained a tremendous life force through this whole process that God willing will take us through and not leave us. So Tammuz, according to the Sefer Yetzirah, which is the Sefer of creation that was given through Ruach HaKodesh to Abraham Avinu, he was given insights into every single month and the spiritual energy that goes along with every single month. There's a letter, there's a tribe that's represented, there's a sense, there's an organ, there's an element, there's a planet, there's an angel. Every month has its own designated energy ball and basket, and that provides us with insight of what is powerful in that month and how we can use it to better ourselves and perfect our lives and get to that ultimate rectification individually and collectively in the world. So this month we have the ability to enhance our vision. That's what this month, in terms of our sense, we get to fine-tune our vision. We are gifted with hypersensitivity on how to view life. It's in this month that we're able to tap in to divine vision. In other words, it's in this month where we're able to look at the inner and crack away at the shell of the outer and be able to see things for the truthful reality. But the problem is that so many of us come to the table with our own bias experiences, with our own pain, with our own luggage, with our own carry-on bag of everything we've been through in life. And so when we look at life, if I feel I've been cheated all my life and I feel like I'm dealing with so much, then everything that I look at is being viewed from that constricted, painful place. So in this month, we get to get out of that shell. We're given that extra gift, the ability to be able to come out of our shell and be able to look at life for what it really is and not for that which we want it to be, that which we think it is, that which our perception of where we are in our lives shows us. This month we can look at things more objectively. And so our avoda this month is to look at the good in myself, in the circumstances of my life, in the people around me. That's my job. And so what did Hashem do? Hashem took us all and squeezed us this month. And squeezed and squeezed and squeezed us. What comes out from that first pressing of the olives? the most purest, finest holy oil, untainted oil, which gives off the most glorious, purified light. That's what Hashem does. So what does Hashem do? He squeezes us and he says, okay, now let me see what's going to come out of you. What are you going to give to me? What's really in your essence? When I take that body and I squeeze it and I crush it, what comes out? Because whatever comes out is who you really are. And look what came out of us from this experience. Look what came out of it. What came out of it was the pureness, the compassionate, the united soul of women and children and families united together. We never met the families. We never knew the boys. We never heard of them. We're never going to see them physically in this world. But yet, when we were squeezed, when our egos were stripped away from us, what came out was the beautiful light of the Jewish nation. But what our call needs to be right now is to say to Hashem, we don't need to be squeezed anymore. We don't need to be squeezed anymore. We got it. We understand. We know that from this point on, we're going to lend a more caring, empathetic ear to our neighbor, to our spouse, to our child, to ourselves. I'm going to be kinder to myself. I'm going to love myself. Because when I don't love myself, I'm insulting Hashem. I'm telling him something's wrong with the way you created me. You messed up somehow, God forbid. Look how you made me. I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny, I have this, I have anger tendencies, I yell too much, my feet are too big, my legs are too swollen. Whenever I complain about myself, I'm insulting Hashem. He's my creator, he's the sculptor, he sculpted me the way that I am. So the idea is this month is to understand that I don't need to be squeezed anymore. I need to look at everything through clear vision. The tribe of the month is Reuven, Reuben. It's our job to see as children, as a son. To see as a son looks at his father. That's how we're supposed to view life. Everything that we're going through is for us to see Hashem. That's what Hashem wants from us. See me. See me in the whole process. We have a choice right now. What are we going to do with this pain? Are we going to let our intellectual, rational, limited vision to reject Hashem, God forbid, and say, Hashem, it's unjust, it's unfair? Or are we going to go inside the pain, go inside the suffering, and find Hashem in there, and extract His infinite wisdom and His master plan and His guidance for where He wants to take us? Because at the end of the day, He's taking us to the ultimate perfection. He's taking us to a place that's the light of the greatest light. And we need to understand that in order for us to absorb that light, we need to be cleansed. This pain that we're going through, I know we all want to just take a pill, go to sleep, and forget about it. We all just want the pain to go away. But the pain is the cleansing. The pain is the healing. Through the pain, Hashem is sewing us together. Hashem is pinning every single one of us together. And so instead of running away from the pain, it's a matter of elevating the pain and lifting it up to Hashem and using it to serve Him from this place. The next time a friend calls me, I'm going to lend an empathetic ear. I'm going to feel her pain. I'm going to be more attentive to her. And I'm going to dance at the joyful event happening in her home. I'm going to be there with her in heart and soul. I mean, we didn't know these families, and look how they pierced our soul. We need to be able to do that every day, all day, wherever we go. Here, just now, on the bus with the bus driver, it's so easy to just lose your temper and just say, horrible things. But no, it's to say, oh, no, he was waiting for 5 hours for us in the heat, and it must be so hard for him, and he was told that he was going to, just constantly looking for the goodness within each and every single person. I heard a very beautiful parable of what it means to look at the goodness, to look for goodness. If we lost something very valuable to us, like a diamond ring, let's say, that we got, and we couldn't find it, we were sure we placed it on this table. I mean, I specifically remember I put the diamond on the table. It's gone, it's not here. So I'm going to look all around that specific spot that I thought I left it at. I'm going to look under and over, I'm going to move things around, I'm going to increase my vision, I'm going to really look in that particular place. Now what happens? I don't find it. So now I start thinking to myself, okay, wait a minute, maybe I didn't leave it here. Maybe I really didn't leave the diamond ring here. Maybe I left it in the kitchen. So I start going into the kitchen. Now, to me, in some way, it's kind of ridiculous because I really, really remember that I left it here. But okay, I want that diamond ring so badly that I'm willing to even go beyond my logic to look in places that ordinarily I wouldn't have looked because I really am sure that it's not there, but I'm going to look at it because it's important to me. It's valuable enough for me to even go against my own common sense and to look for it until I find it, just to increase my chances that much more. And then it's not in the kitchen. I turn the whole kitchen over. It's not there. You know what? Maybe I forgot it in the bedroom. And I'm going to go and I'm going to search and I'm going to turn things over in the closets. I'm going to even go in my kids' room. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I was distracted with a phone call and I really did leave it on one of the kids' beds. So I'm going to search and search and search for it. Depending on how valuable it is to me is how much effort I am going to invest in looking for it. How important is it for us to see the world through God-like glasses? How important is it for me to find the goodness in my life? How important is it for me to find the goodness and the understanding in somebody else? That's the parable. And it's very clear that I need to be investing because it's a diamond. It's so important. It's so valuable to me to be able to see good in this world, because when I see good, I see Hashem, because Hashem is where good is. Hashem is good. Everything that comes down is good. Not revealed good, but it is good. Again, what is the good, for instance, in all this? What have the mothers been saying day in, day out? What chesed came out from these 3 boys? So again, we want to ask Hashem, no more squeezing. No more squeezing. We're going to breathe our way through the birthing process. We're going to unite together, and we're going to get this baby out. But we don't need to be squeezed. We're going to breathe. We're going to have, you know, they say the focal point, have that focal point every time through that contraction. I'm going to have that focal point. What's my focal point? Hashem is taking us to a perfect place. The place that all the generations were waiting to get there finally. That's where Hashem is leading us all. And the whole process of pain is good for me. It's healing for me. I'm supposed to be in pain. It makes me be in touch with my soul. My soul feels pain of someone else. My body doesn't want, because my body wants only me. So if I feel pain from someone else, it's my soul's expression. That's where I want to be in touch with. I want to be in touch with my soul. So just to give us a little bit of consolation, when Moshe Rabbeinu was appointed to be the leader of Am Yisrael, to take Am Yisrael out from slavery, out from a place of pain, and bring them to a place of redemption, where was his appointment? Where did he meet up with Hashem? He met up with Hashem in a burning bush. A burning bush. Prickly, thorny, desolate, burning, with still greenery involved, and in the midst of it all, which means there was obviously life there, but from a place of obviously of pain, of intense emotion. That's where, so to speak, Hashem revealed himself to Moshe Rabbeinu in order to tell him the message that you are appointed to become the leader of Am Yisrael and take them out from their pain, from their slavery, and bring them to a place of redemption. What is the message? So the Midrash teaches us that from this place Hashem was saying, Imo Anochi B'tzara, I am with the Jewish nation and in their time of pain, in their time of sorrow, I am with them. Convey that message to Am Yisrael. Convey that message that when they're in pain, the Gemara says, Kalani miroshi, kalani mizoi. My head is aching, my arms are aching. The Shekhinah is saying, when you're in pain, so to speak, my head is in pain, my hands, my body, so to speak, yes, we can't quite understand it as it were, is in pain. Hashem is clearly saying to us, He is with us. So when I am empathetic with someone else who is in pain, what I know now for sure is that the Shekhinah is with that person who's in pain. And so when I come and approach that person and try to alleviate that person's pain by lending them a caring ear, by giving them a hug, by not judging them, by praying for them, by just saying to them, I'm with you. I'm with you in heart and spirit. I'm with you. That's what is keeping these mothers going, is the tremendous support, how much it means to every single one of us when we know we're not alone. What in essence we're doing is we're as if taking away from the pain of the Shekhinah, because the pain of the Shekhinah is in that person. When we alleviate their pain, we're, so to speak, alleviating and taking away from the pain of the Shekhinah. That's bringing Geula. That's bringing us closer to the redemption. That's living in Mashiach's times right now. Any questions so far? Any thoughts? No? Huh?
I think it's an excellent thought.
It is. It's something to certainly, keep our minds on. The idea is to try as best as we can to take this momentum and move forward with it and carry another person on my shoulders. Not only do we think that we don't have the koach for it, but look what we've been able to discover within ourselves throughout the last 18 days. We realize that we have the ability of crying for someone else, for 3 others who, again, we don't know them personally, we've never met them, and we have this ability to feel so much in pain with them. So what is this teaching us? I can carry someone else's pain, and I can actually be a better person through that process. I can actually elevate myself through that whole entire process. And that's really the message that we need to take home with us tonight, is that we need to be more caring about ourselves in particular. Because if I don't love myself, and if I'm angry with myself, and I don't accept myself for who I am, there's no way I can carry anybody else. There's no way I can carry anybody else on my shoulders. So first and foremost is to accept myself, to love myself, to understand that I'm here on a mission to fulfill, to be able to spread light, and to be able to attach myself to Hashem through this pain. Because again, through the pain, we're able to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're able to connect. Just the fact that we're even asking the question, Hashem, what's going on here? Just the fact that we're looking for answers means that we know, and we're even sharpening that awareness that Hashem is with us, and Hashem is involved in everything. And so the idea is to take that with us and to really leave here and to just continue that tradition. That was the message of today, the whole message of today. And if that goes away, then God forbid, we're exposing ourselves again to becoming vulnerable to another wake-up call. And that's something we don't want. We don't want to go back to bed. We want to stay awake. That's the idea. But Bezrat Hashem, I pray for all of us, really, that we should habituate ourselves through this process, through this pain, to care for one another, to care for ourselves, to care for the Shekhinah. You know, I once heard a beautiful vart from Rabbi Wallerstein, Shlita, and he said, can you just imagine, it's horrible for us down here. It's horrible for us down here to process the pain. But can you just imagine how painful it is for the Shekhinah to sign on that decree, that the decree that these 3 boys had to be taken away, and that Am Yisrael had to go through such difficulty. Can we just for 1 minute imagine how difficult it was for Hashem, so to speak, to write the signature, to seal the decree, to bring it down into this reality. How difficult it is, because everything is sourced in the Shekhinah. Whatever pain we're going through, we're finite, so our pain is also limited. Hashem is infinite, and so his pain is endless. It's eternal pain. It's pain that we can't even imagine. That's why we can't imagine his love for us, because everything that Hashem gives down to this world is infinite. So everything that quote unquote he experiences is infinite. So the pain that Hashem has is infinite. But it's all for the process. So the idea is to take this with us and not to wait for, God forbid, another wake-up call, and to come together and keep in mind these 3 boys. That's the message that they're sending us. That's the message that Bezrat Hashem this month, with all that we're going through, it should just be a month where we don't need any more tragedies to wake up, and that, you know, we're attentive, we're awake, we're listening, and Bezrat Hashem, we should change all for the better and grow. Anybody want to express anything? No?
You know, Russian wax, it was a very similar thing. How many years ago was that? 20 some odd years ago? It's very similar to this. But I guess we didn't learn, you know.
Yeah.
It was a very intense crying out, all there Teshurah. Was there as much afterwards? I think so. It was very similar to this, but it wasn't as long and drawn out.
Mm-hmm.
But
I actually heard today, I don't know if it was one of the Rebbeim on one of the radio stations, and he said if the Arabs only knew what would come out of all this, the Achdus and Am Yisrael, they would have never taken those boys. Because they know their weapon. They know that when there's separateness and divisiveness in the nation, they know they have the upper hand. They get it. They get the message. They know it.
Said that in the Hesped.
Yeah, in the Hesped, but maybe that's where I heard it.
Somebody had.
Was it in the Hesped? I remember hearing it.
Could it have been Lapid himself? He actually gave a Hesped.
Yeah, I heard him. Maybe that's what he said. I remember hearing it today, yeah. And I found that very interesting. That really, they know. I actually heard a story once of 2 Arabic women who were sitting on a bus, and they were talking amongst themselves. So that was way back when that I heard this. 2 Arabic women sitting on a bus, and they were talking about the fact that, you know, they were looking at the bus and they were seeing like this one, you know, arguing with that one. Sometimes it happens in the buses. We're not going to say it happens often, but sometimes it happens on Israeli bus rides that people get upset, and the driver and so on and this and that. And the 2 Arabic women were speaking together, and one of the I guess the people, the passengers on the bus understood what they were saying, and they were saying, you see, that's our upper hand. When they're not together, we're going to win the war against them. Wow. They were actually discussing amongst them. They get it. They know it. There's another story also of before the first Intifada. It's a very famous story. Before the first Intifada, one of the terrorists was sitting in a jail cell, and it was Pesach, Erev Pesach, and one of the guards were sitting and dining on a pita. Oh. You heard this? And the terrorist, you know, I guess he was doing his rounds and he was eating, and the terrorist says, isn't today your holiday, Passover? You're not supposed to be eating bread? Yeah, what is it to you? They say that on that night he wrote a letter to all of the terrorist cells, and he says, now's the time to start the intifada. When a nation is disconnected from their Jewish tradition, the upper hand is with us. Because it's kol Yaakov v'yadayim yadei asav. Our strength is in our voice. It's in our Emuna. It's in our connectiveness. It's in our tefillah. It's in our recognition that Hashem gave us a gift to have this land because of the Torah, because it's founded on holiness and Torah. But yadayim yadei asav, their hands are in the doing. They know that the minute we stop using our kol, their yadayim, their strength is uplifted, and they have the upper hand on us. So the idea is for us not to wait. Not to wait. We don't want any more wake-up calls. Hashem, we're totally awake now. No snooze buttons, no putting it on sleep. No, we're awake. We know what we have to do, and let's take this opportunity to just continue forward to do what we have to do. In goodness, in simchas, as Zahav and I said, every month, hafrashas challah, for simcha, for goodness, to keep it going, what they call preventative medicine, preventative tefillah, preventative events. We don't want it to blow out of proportion. We want to do things to gain a momentum and gain the advantage point to be able to continue the compassion, so that we don't need these. We don't need these events. Be'ezrat Hashem, that's our hope, and it's all up to us. It's our choice.
I heard in another shiur with Shirley, she was saying Pigrom Brit is the reason why all these things happen with these boys. We have to watch our eyes,
That's vision. That's what we're saying, Tammuz. Vision. How do I choose to see what happened? Also, again, judge. In Sefer Hasidut it says, judge Hashem in favor. The most ridiculous thing. What do you mean judge Hashem in favor? Judge Hashem in favor. No, there's a reason why he does everything. There's a perfectly attuned reason why he does everything. Judge him in favor. No, it's all for the good. It's all to bring us to a place where we're going to, act on a soul level. Zat Hashem, may Am Yisrael not know of any more tzal. Amen.